Welcome. In this video, we will discuss about the Financial Action Task Force. So this particular organization has been in news a lot lately because of it putting the Pakistan into grey list. So there has been a lot of meeting which has gone ahead, and there are a lot of speculation because of the present economic condition of Pakistan, as well as their inclination towards terror financing, and there are reports where it has been considered as a safe haven for the organized crime. So in that case, there is a lot of speculation whether Pakistan will remain in the grey list, which is still a warning state, or it will go up and become in the blacklist, where the major sanction could be provided against them. So right now in blacklist there are only two countries, North Korea and Iran are already blacklisted. So there, because of all this thing, Financial Action Task Force is in news. In this video we will try to understand what Financial Action Task Force is, what is meant by blacklist, what is meant by grey list, and what are the implications if a country is placed into grey list. So these are the basic agenda in this video. Let's begin. So Financial Action Task Force, or it is called as FATF in short, is an intergovernmental body established in 1989 and on the initiative of G7. So the few keywords that you have to remember over here is that it is an intergovernmental body, not a UN body. Remember that it is not a United Nations body. It is a intergovernmental body, and when it was formed in 1989. So it is not any organization which has formed in the recent years, but it has been here for quite a time now. It was formed in 1989. And again, which is the organization associated with the formation of this? It is G7. Now, which all countries are part of G7? Just for your knowledge, it is United Nations, United Kingdom, Canada, then you have Japan, Germany, Italy, and France. So basically what happened, there was also G8 in which Russia was also included, but after its annexation of Crimea back in 2014, it was again removed from the group. So as of now, these are the 7 members of G7, and G7 is the grouping which led to the formation of Financial Action Task Force. Now it is a policy making body which works to generate the necessary political will to bring about national legislative and regulatory reform in various areas. So what are its various areas where it function, and what are its specific role? We will go ahead and understand them in the upcoming slides, but as of now you have to remember it is a policy making body. Also, another thing for you to remember is that its secretariat is housed in OECD headquarters in Paris. Now, OECD is basically an organization where the developed economies come together for the development. From your remembering and trying to connect the dot for India, just try to remember PISA, which is basically a kind of a test to check the educational quality in a country. PISA test is conducted by OECD. So just try to link it from there. So its headquarter is also located in the OECD headquarter, which is in Paris. FATF currently comprises of 37 member jurisdiction and 2 regional organizations representing most major financial centers in all part of the globe. It also has observers and associated members. So now a job for you to do, just figure out whether India is part of it or not. Drop a comment in the comment section on YouTube video whether India is a part of FATF or not. Now let's move forward and try to understand the roles and function of FATF. So initially it was established to examine and develop measures to combat money laundering. So initially what was the goal when the G7 summit happened in 1989? The goal was to examine and develop measures to combat the money laundering. So that was its sole purpose. But then in 2001, its roles was expanded, and not only the money laundering, but it also has to combat the terror financing. So that is also one of the component which get added to its role in the 2001, in addition to money laundering. And finally in 2012, not only the terror financing as well as the money laundering, but it also have to make efforts to counter the financing of proliferation of weapons of mass destruction like your nuclear weapons. So basically, as of now, what are all the roles and functions of FATF? So it has to fight and figure out ways to combat the money laundering. Then it has to combat the terror financing, as well as it has to see that there is not financial transaction happening in terms of weapons of mass destruction. So these are the major area in which FATF work as of today. Now let's move forward and try to understand what this blacklist and grey list, which is like often in news, means. So blacklist countries known as non-cooperative countries or territories, NCCTs, are put in the blacklist. These countries support terror funding and money laundering activities. The FATF revises blacklist regularly, adding or deleting entries. Example, North Korea and Iran. So basically what is put in blacklist is considered, okay, these are the places where the country itself is used for terror funding as well as money laundering activities. And it's not like if any country get into the blacklist, it cannot be updated or cannot be removed, or any country which is in any other list cannot move to other lists. So basically these lists are not static but dynamic, and they keep on getting updated according to the record the country submit to the FATF, and FATF in general monitoring and the way it examines the whole situation. So as of now, North Korea and Iran are in blacklist. Now in grey list, the countries that are considered safe haven for supporting terror funding and money laundering are put in the FATF grey list. So these are the countries who are considered as safe haven. So basically these countries are not like FATF has not come to the conclusion that they support terror funding, but they have finalized that okay, these countries are the one where there could be a safe haven for terror funding and money laundering, and the countries need to put into action some kind of regime or some kind of action plan so that they could combat it. So such kind of countries are placed in the grey list. As of now, apart from any, like the most important country from your examination or in general that you need to consider is Pakistan. So Pakistan has been in grey list for a time now. Now, what is the impact of being in a grey list? So, economic sanction from IMF, World Bank and ADB. ADB is your Asian Development Bank. So, IMF, World Bank, ADB, which are considered as the major financial institution for providing the financial relief at the time of crisis or when you need grants or even loans. So these institutions could just go ahead and go with economic sanction and don't provide you loans. Then problem in getting loans, that is also there, and apart from these financial institution, you can also not get loan from other countries because you have been put in the grey list. Then reduction in international trade, international boycott. So because of the, like, you have been put in the grey list, which means you have been going against the ethos of the international trades and everything. So because of it, there could be sanction, there could be reduction in international trade, and at the worst case there could be boycott also, so that countries don't go ahead with the export and import with you because you have been placed under the grey list of FATF. So these are the few implications which could come into place if a country is placed under grey list. Under the blacklist, there are extreme economic sanctions. So if you are aware, Iran has been put under economic sanction by US because of its nuclear program. So such kind of extreme economic sanction could be in place if a country is in blacklist. So these are the few things that you need to remember from your examination point of view. Organization is set up, its function and role, when it was set up, what kind of a body it is, and finally what blacklist and grey list means. So I hope you have understood this video. If you have any doubt, feel free to drop a comment. Thank you.